Greetings, blessings, salutations, and love. Once again, welcome back to Chats with Jack. I am Jack Talcott here, filled. Actually, I'm actually pretty much at peace right now. I'm content, filled with gratitude. The title of the stream today. Gratitude feels good, and I was thinking about that earlier. So obvious and pure, a child knows that sort of thing. A child could know that sort of thing very easily. That gratitude feels good, man. And what a concept. It feels good to do good. And you're grateful for things when you do good. You feel rewarded. It all makes perfect sense. These rules and order, these laws that we've been given to live within. Along the lines of the laws, I've dropped the link, pinned it to the top of the chat who wish to join. My mind has taken me on a lot of different adventures earlier so far today. I did what I think is right, and I took a break. I took a fast, so to say. Actually, today I am. I'm growing in my conservation, reducing my consumption. So as far as the online stuff, I really didn't pay much attention to it, but I was so inspired earlier. I almost hit go live, and what prevented me from hitting go live was having the stream set up, and then I found excuses through the day. And then that was an observation as well. How many times do that? How many times do we come up with excuses to prevent us from doing things that we were inspired to do? How many times do we let excuses to hold us back? Excuses to prevent us from feeling grateful, for feeling good? I mean, there's all sorts of reasons and excuses you can imagine why you want to feel, or why you want to say, or why you want to do what you do. Blessings. There was some amazing feedback, and Yolanda, I think you were a great part of that. There was a lot of positive feedback from the stream yesterday. I feel quite encouraged, man. I really do. Yep, Chuck. You know it. Gratitude for all things, man. It really is that simple. Hey, earlier today, I was blessed. For those who are kind of intellectual, like who enjoy like the real kind of dry, I don't want to describe it this way. I don't want to describe it poorly or inaccurately, but I came across a creator recently from one of these streams. I don't remember who it was. And I checked out some of her work today. The Alchemist is who I was listening to. She gave a wonderful presentation of the minds, how to understand, how to connect to God through your mind, how to connect to the divine. And here, let me drop this. Her discussion, this video today, it really brought me a lot of inspiration, a lot of inspired thoughts. So I encourage people to check it out. Welcome, Yolanda.
Hi, Jack. How are you doing this afternoon? It's good to be here and have a conversation with you today. How are you?
Sister, I feel so blessed. I really, really do. Here's what I wanted to hey, if you're here, you can help me with this because you know this. This simple odd for that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna type it up in a banner. Simple reminder for us as adults, especially in these panels, we can discuss different times and different things peacefully without getting so reactive when we just remind ourselves to stay present. When we start out with, okay, we're here and now, and we're going to discuss some things from the past, but we're going to stay here and now. This thought coincided with that stream I was watching earlier about I don't want to misexplain her presentation, but it reinforced some of the concepts I had of the left mind is our language, our logic. It's kind of more the egoic control center, and the right mind. And it's also said the left mind is the more the masculine presence, where the right mind could be said the more feminine presence, the psychic presence, the psyche, the spirit, that which is beyond just the structures of space and time. And so, not for a spoiler alert, but in her presentation, she presents an observation or an argument that, tie imagination and God together. Don't let the
Okay. I'm looking forward to listening. Let's hear what the video has to say.
Oh, I actually wasn't going to play the whole thing. I was just going to promote it.
Oh. Okay. I thought you were going to push play. Okay.
Well,
So
what do
you're
you
promoting
think?
the video. Thank you. Okay.
Well, I honestly don't know what's right and what's not as far as the copyrights and all that crap. So, I'm offering that her words, she gave some beautiful presentations that made sense to me. And here, what is she talking about?
Between us and the inner light of consciousness. The left hemisphere is our spiritual antenna that receives the signal and then converts that signal into our third dimensional physical reality. We think that light is received from is connected to the right hemisphere of our body. And the left hemisphere of the body is connected to the right hemisphere of the brain. So the left hemisphere of the brain is the interface between us and the inner light of consciousness. The left hemisphere is our spiritual antenna that receives the signal and then converts that signal into our third dimensional physical reality. We think that light is received from the external world and is then put together to create a vision from inside our brain. But in reality, our inner light of consciousness is what animates our reality, and the outward light is a reflection of that. Our analytical brain is so identified as the left hemisphere of our body, mind, spirit that it simply cannot perceive and sense the communication that is coming in from the right brain.
Hey, hopefully that is a hopefully without the context, I hope it still makes a little bit of sense. But
Yeah, I watched Sarah. I watched The Alchemist. I didn't watch that video yet, but I watched that channel.
I wonder if it was you that I learned of her from. You were the one who turned me on to the other place too. So
That's possible. I did. That's possible. I did tell you that. I don't remember though. Someone else will. I'll ask Nafu if I'm the one that told you that.
I think it was you.
All right. Because Nafu's investigating me, so he'll know better than I will.
He'll know
Hi,
what we
Hank.
did.
How are you, Hank?
I'm doing fine.
Good. I've actually am new to your personality on the panels within the last couple of weeks, and you received some pretty accurate praise today. You're a fun one to watch on a panel.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well, I would like to add to the divine feminine. And I think that that's what maybe I'm overanalyzing it, but I think the divine feminine yesterday influenced things on panel, and hopefully for the better. As I'm understanding, to some it was a huge distraction, and
Really?
yes, I just don't. I feel really silly after listening back to myself on here. I'm a person that is in the real life a very funny person. I laugh at things all the time. So if that's my presentment in real life too. So if it offends people that I laugh at things and are I might be high spirited and energetic in ways, that's just who I am.
Hey, sister. Accept your perfection. That's what I've been doing.
You know what? That is a very powerful thing, Jack Talcott, because I just accepted my divine feminine within the last 5 years. So I understand it's a different shift and transition in your own being when you fully understand your strength as your gender and how it reflects, and it's up to you how you choose how to use the energy.
Beautifully said, man. The divine part. Oh, actually, if you guys don't mind, I mean, unless there's objections, this is kind of ties into a thought that I didn't get into yesterday. The word and the idea of divinity. It was something I never really stopped to think about. I never stopped to think about God. I accepted it was just God's one of those things that I don't have time to understand. And, other people think they figured it out, but they don't really know either. And I had all these stories, but I had very few answers. Until I realized that I did have all the answers, and so do you. I know some of my trains of thoughts, they may not flow real smooth, but
You're doing fine, Jack, because you're showing, and I think that this is why people are attracted to your channel. Your authenticity of being joyful, trying very, very hard to channel what being humble is as a content creator. That's such a generic explanation, but it's really hard to stay authentic sometimes. And when I was referring to the characters yesterday, you're pretty consistent with trying to be in the state of joy, and these men can't stand it. They don't want you swimming in that. and they refer to it with all the vulgarities that you would expect to come along with it. I mean, it's really interesting how much something that is so natural and naturally loving and nurturing is spat on in some of these panels. Sorry, Hank, if I'm boring you. Please go ahead and add to that if you want to.
Don't worry about me being bored. If I'm bored, I'll just hop off.
Thank you for your honesty, because I just don't want to. That's see what I mean. I feel like if I'm being honest about this, that it may be taken in a negative light, because it's just been so consistent with that on a lot of the panels.
It has. There's a lot of people. Well, you know what? Life is, and that's it. So life brought us to where we are today, and there's a lot of interpretations, there's a lot of memories, there's a lot of energies that can move us. I totally just destroyed the topic, didn't I? I took us so far away. Holy
no. So I can loop us back around. But I'm gonna disclose something. I didn't watch pretty much any of the streams yesterday because I was too busy working and sleeping. I think I tagged on Gen X Just stream for a little bit before I went to sleep, and I missed all of it. I don't really care about it. I mean, the beef between you and Paul makes no sense to me because you pretty much had the same ideology, because I somehow agree with both of you. So it's probably a stylistic issue and maybe even astral turf. We'll find out later. Now I define deity on my just becoming God form thread, which I used to blog for a couple years, and my definition of deity is object of worship. If a thing is worshipped by someone, it is a deity. Anything be a deity, assuming someone worships it. The definition does not assume things being worshipped are inherently worthy of worship, and that's why I define deity. But it's distinct from the monad mind that reality is based on. But that's why I think of a god, deity, God's a synonym. That's what I think.
I think that could still apply to what I've been.
Yes.
Where my mind is at. I don't remember exactly how I got there. It was in prayer, meditation, reflection, but just the observation of, it goes with the title, right? Gratitude feels good. What feels good? It's these honest energies. And gratitude is one of those that feels good. Gratitude is a great sign, symptom, representation of love. So gratitude is a way of love. So do love. Be love. If anything, because it feels good inside to be that way, to be joyful. And that is actually what I did want to swing to was thank you, Yolanda. And I see that in you as well. And Hank, you guys got a bright light and some wisdom, some perspectives. You got some experiences. All of us do. Learning how to be present and to be joyful with each other. I really think that's our purpose. Might be all we're supposed to do. What's that?
I love to be in that place. It's a great place to be, and unfortunately we can't always be in that space. So it may frustrate people who can't be in that space and have that opportunity to be there. I used to have problems with work being too perky You know, I had to calm myself down when I would walk into the workspace because I had to understand not everybody was in the same space spiritually, mentally as I was to have that resonating out of me.
That is a beautiful perspective, and I guess, it is part of it. Learning how to adapt to sometimes moderate ourselves in order to not cause offense and disturbance. But we are here to shine, and shine joyfully and lovingly, but we are each on our own paths. And I was thinking about, actually, one of the common disagreements I find with people is the paradox, because both sides are true, the paradox of you got to do everything yourself, and then the benefits of cooperation. I mean, that was part of the discussion yesterday we had on the panel you missed, but doing things alone versus cooperating and uniting. That's what we're supposed to do. I honestly, I listen to myself, and when I jump around on topics, I apologize. I understand that I do.
Don't worry about it. I get the same way. My thought process changes pretty fast. I'm one of those kinds of people that sees a sparkly something and will just completely pause to look at how shiny it is. And
Yep.
I mean, even today, I agree. Somebody mentioned it in the chat that my presentment is different here today than it was yesterday. Yesterday, I was fired up. Okay, I was so frustrated with the circumstances on some of the topics that I couldn't help it. I mean, even in my real life, I'm like that. So I thought I listened to this stream again, and I listened to myself, and I thought, I need to change my presentment. I have to reevaluate what my choice of words are, and how others may perceive that. I don't want to discourage others with the unnecessary lingo that I chose to use yesterday. I could be a professional self, and I can be myself. And apparently myself was a little too much yesterday.
I respect your awareness, your acknowledgement, your humility, which is all strength. Congratulations.
Thank you. Some mistake it as for weakness.
Amen. I get that often. And it's funny. Kindness is mistaken for weakness, and patience is it's taken for granted as well. I know I've been underestimated most of my life.
As have I. A lot of people seem to underestimate what I'm capable of doing or understanding, and I sometimes test myself physically, spiritually, emotionally in ways that I even surprise myself. So, yes, I understand.
Well, as I understood, that was part of your time yesterday, is you saw that and you allowed it. You allowed yourself to be tested and challenged, and to see what you could discover. I honor that.
Yes, this whole experience for me from like the last couple weeks or so with the interaction has been a very interesting experience. It's interesting. I understand why people are attracted to it. I understand why people are addicted to it. It is a different type of excitement to engage with people that you've been rooting on for such a long time, and they didn't even know it. You know, it's interesting.
These lives are interesting, and there's a reason we're all here, brothers and sisters. There is a reason we are all here today. And so what does that mean? What is the reason? I don't know. But what I do know is that it feels good to feel good. And what feels good is gratitude. And gratitude, it's up to us to find this life every day. It's like you can treat each day like, oh, this is such a chore. I gotta do this life again. Bitching and complaining and just spreading bitterness towards everyone. You can be afraid of living, right? Telling everybody, oh, you gotta be afraid. You gotta be afraid like me. Or, no, you can live this life like an adventure, and it's a game, and you're playing this like a god, like God is with you. And then trust that God is with you. Play the game of life the best that you can. But you got to be honest, and you got to be authentic. And authentic and honest people are willing to be wrong. I see a lot of people that spend a lot of time fighting to be right, and that's what we saw yesterday. Here, I'll go on and on if you allow me. Please jump in, guys.
Make me.
Drake me. Oh, Hank, I love you. That was my question earlier. There's a distinction, right, between guiding others, guiding a herd, guiding a family, leading a family. There's a difference between leading, guiding, and controlling. I don't think we actually control as much as we've been led to believe.
I agree. And the thing is, yeah, that it's actually used for a little Sisyphean trap to say you just need to change your mind about the circumstances, and so it could be better. A lot of it's bullshit. I'm still trying to figure out how to even investigate the limit, but there is a limit of what you can change of the universe just by changing perception.
I've been testing what I've been learning with the mind and intentions, trying to see what results. And honestly, that was my prayer today. Is God, please, I need some sort of sign to know. And then I thought about, do I really? I don't need any signs to know what is right. I don't need any signs to know what is. All I have to know is right now. And right now will bring forth the ideas and the inspirations that I need. How much do we control? Hank, I take responsibility for the possibility that everything might be in my power. Okay, and that way I'm not blaming anyone. I hear a lot of people, I call it blaming God. Well, God will do this, or God did this, or, well, yes, that part is true, but so what? What are we going to do? What do we want to do? Guys, this is the lesson. The key to gratitude is figure out what you want and then find ways to be grateful for what you have. And what you have, all of your life, is you. So find a way to love being you.
Copy.
I fucking love you, man. And Yolanda, please. Anything?
Okay. Yeah. It this space that you are in your life right now, okay, is not a place that everybody it's almost like a rite of passage to be in that place that you're in right now. And I think that that's what frustrates a lot of these adults, because there are different phases of life. Every decade you learn something new, and you have a couple of decades ahead of a lot of the people that go on these panels with you. So they get frustrated at where you're at, and sometimes your elders truly do have something beneficial to teach you. And if we're trying to reach out to you and tell you to just calm down, take a breath, and help you find that space to find the joy and give you the advice we want to pass on to you, that it might be beneficial to you.
Amen. Hey,
You like that, Jack? It's because I see the difference, and I know myself. Every decade I learned something new about myself. I was in that space that you were speaking on earlier. My career, I was miserable. There was no time for joy.
right.
I was in such a flight and flight mode in my life that I didn't have the space or the mindset to get where you're at or where I'm at in my life. I'm not in that busy lifestyle anymore. And I work for myself, and all of a sudden God spoke to me too, which is that energy of love and peace and joy. And they may sound generic, but those are the moments we learn to heal. And eventually, some will be ready what it actually means to love yourself, because that is a big deal once you let go of those things you hated about yourself all your life. And then all of a sudden, it all makes sense.
Yes, sister. This ties in with a thought I had earlier. Gosh, you're bringing up so much. Thank you so much for those perspectives. The thought I'm reminded that, I keep being reminded that there is different foundations of experience that each of us carry. And those different foundations of knowledge and experience sometimes make communication challenging. And yeah, I kind of forgot. I forgot, actually, intentionally, I kind of forgot a lot of my past because, dude, I don't want to waste time thinking about that and remembering that. That wasn't any fun. I want to spend time thinking about and imagining what I will be accomplishing before I'm done. That kind of rhymed.
It's interesting. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, please go ahead.
I got mocked and ridiculed today for how I was on another panel. And it was a little silly, I guess, to some, because I wanted to incorporate the chat with what was going on with me on panel. And it was like a flight or flight type of reaction. I'll be completely honest. I was not expecting to feel like I was going to feel when I entered onto the panel. And so I asked the chat for a response, and I asked them to put like a 1 in the chat or whatever the hell I did. And I realized when I got off, it's because that's where I've been more comfortable. That was where my home base was, is that I'm used to being a freaking chat warrior, or as Tommy likes to say, a chat nun. It was, that's where I was comfortable with being at. And so now I see some of the comments saying that how ridiculous I was yesterday in comparison to today. And I think that also has to do with decades. If you learn from your mistakes and you're humble with learning from your mistakes, and if you're mature and adult enough you want to change things about yourself and move forward. And like I said, there are once you have a profession in your life, you get different personalities. You learn to have a work self, which is, the whole Wicker Man BS. And then you don't really have time to find an authentic self. So I found my authentic self, and I'm able to check myself when I'm not happy with what I may put out there about myself.
Yolanda, I have some tips with interacting with chat. So I kind of keep it on a two-tier system. If you speak to me via the panel, I will probably read the panel, and if you speak to me via the text, I will probably read the text unless I especially deem it super important. It's so important that it's worth addressing the chat by usually putting people in two tiers. So if I don't take super chats right now because I don't stream my channel. If you send me money, I'll deem it as important. And if you agree with me, then I may cite you instead of coming up with my own words. And other than that, I kind of don't care. If I care, I'll respond in text rather than in voice, unless it's a Q&A show.
Thank you. That's a very logical perspective. That was very, very logical, and that makes perfect sense. And I guess it's because I do incorporate of making too many decisions on emotion sometimes. I can't help it. So it's nice to have someone speak logically. Sometimes I do need someone to be more logical around me to help me get out of that what is perceived as a bubble or bobblehead space.
I love these conversations. I really do. Hey, there was something you said earlier though about I don't remember exactly what it was. Something about hate, getting past our hate or setting aside the hate or something. That was a thought I was considering earlier. The logic. Hey Yolanda, this is where I've been. I've spent a lot of time. I think maybe that's how I was, is emotions were what, I don't know. I ignored my emotions, but really emotions were what was driving my choices because I didn't understand them. I've spent a lot of time trying to understand the logic behind emotions. Why the hell does this stuff make sense? Where does it come from?
If you've experienced complete sorrow in your life, I think that's what really makes a person aware of what all of the emotions a person can feel and how you never ever want to feel again. And that's just, I think what helped kickstart me was some of the changes in my life were from the loss of a loved one unexpectedly, for example.
I was hearing words of experience. My heart. Yes, that's true. I think you're very accurate. Hey, Chuck.
How you doing, Jack? Welcome. Hey, Sophia. Not Sophia. Yolanda. I'm sorry. Oh my God.
Hi, Chuck. It's okay. It's okay. How are you doing?
You did nothing wrong earlier. I seen the interaction that you were referring to, and it was pretty apparent that it was guilt by association. It's not what you said. It was simply guilt by association, and you did nothing wrong. So don't beat yourself up about it.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm actually surprised to see how much of a reaction I would be receiving from everybody. I even saw some reference to myself over in London Man's, like it echoed all the way over there. So I can see that what I did really affected and changed things. And that interaction that we're speaking upon, I don't think I really would have even joined the panel if I didn't hear where the direction was going that he was accusing this panel of doing yesterday, which was another time to gossip about all of the different things going on panels. Am I making you fall asleep, Jack? Did you get yourself another Starbucks?
Oh, I did. I got. I didn't go to Starbucks because they're too expensive, but I did get a refill of coffee. That's why I had stopped my cam.
No, I don't know what happened earlier.
The eagle was
I,
running. The
Did you
eagle was
just
running
relax?
strong.
yeah, I'm just chilling. I'm
You're
just
just
chilling.
chilling. Okay. You know what? I think that that's okay to have a time on panel to just chill because it's always fired up. And yesterday was a fired up panel. So it's okay to just chill.
It is. That
What?
is.
Go ahead,
Go ahead,
Jack.
Chuck.
Oh, I was going to tell. So, Yolanda, there I go again. But it was. He didn't see where. To me, he didn't see where Tarek was invoking his name so much. Is what started all the roundtable discussion about it. All he saw was I'm getting beat up. So if I'm getting beat up, then you must be guilty of it because you were sitting on panel, which I disagree with.
I guess I'm gonna say something that I know is gonna be used against me in some way, shape, or form. And I'm not even interested anymore on what happens on that panel anymore because I experienced something I haven't since I was a child. And it was
Uh,
confirmation to me that some of these panels and some of these characters and a lot of what I think some of these people are trying to explain is that that state of shock and panic, and it's all those things that we've been studying these last 3 years of MK Ultra, of someone trying to brainwash you, or the military making you have PTSD. Like I was not expecting to have the emotions or the feelings that I was as I was sitting there waiting for my moment to have any words. I already knew I was going to get kicked off. I already knew because that is part of the whole control thing that happens over there. Um, it's those behaviors are the ones that is spoken upon we're fighting against. Censorship, enslavement, being put in jails, being mocked, being ridiculed, all of those things that we're against, and that is exactly what happens. And when I was being asked questions, it absolutely was an interrogation. It was like stepping into a courtroom. And I just thought to myself, this is an individual that has been stuck in such a state that that's all that projects from him all the time. You know, it's and when that behavior comes onto another panel and is projected there and they still can't see it, and then they go to a third panel or to a fourth panel or whatever, all in one day, is interesting for me. I'm sorry, my dog's an asshole. That one can't see that what that behavior is. It's craziness.
Okay, so Tarot can't prove I didn't have anything to do with it, even though I don't really have much of a clue of what happened yesterday. But I'm just saying, Tarot, you cannot prove I had nothing to do with it.
Oh, Hank, you don't even worry about this. How embarrassing. Hold on a second.
Hey, I'm assuming this is in regards to that, in regards to Enslavia or.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't
It
see
wasn't
much,
pretty.
but well, you know, I can imagine what she's describing. It's an unfortunate situation, but the reality is this is the life we're living. The past is what it is. It does not matter. All that matters is now. What do we do from here?
That's why I changed my presentment. Oh my goodness. Now it's
Hey,
another damn animal. Well, let me tell you just a little backdrop
You're
on me,
okay.
okay? I work with
You're
animals for a
okay.
living. So they're everywhere. It's which is another reason why I don't really panel because of these animals.
we have bizarre animals in the background. Bizarre
Yes.
people in the chat.
Are you the
Yeah.
neighborhood cat lady, or
I
I don't know
love
how
No,
that
sir.
works.
I'm not I own a business for dogs and cats. I'm not going to say what it is because I know that people are just waiting to drag my ass. So
Yes,
just
Copy
know
that.
ma'am.
that I
You have
Yes,
work
to find it for
ma'am.
yourself. You have to figure it out yourself. Snafu snaps.
Hey,
Did you have a question? I'm not looking at chat. Did he ask what I did for a living?
no.
Is it Chinese buffet?
It's delicious.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, Flo, help us out. Jack's so relaxed that he's ready to take a nap. So
Well,
Here.
Jack, capitalism is better than socialism, and secrets will never end, and peace is boring.
I'm gonna
Yep,
kick you
how
out
true.
quick. Hey, this question. What is causing you to allow a woman to speak more than ever before?
What a stupid incelish question.
What?
this is the individual that's been really hard on my ass today. So
Is it really?
Wow.
yes, I don't know this person, so it's a new sock account. I mean, the sock smells so bad in chat today. Holy shit, somebody needs to take out the laundry, man.
Yeah, I've never seen that one before.
Oh, I can explain this
Oh.
phenomenon. This isn't a stock account, it's just an NPC. So pretty much to save development time, we make a bunch of the same pretty much unit, and they're just clones. So it's probably just an NPC. No need to worry about it. It's a bunch of those.
Well, what you just described, that's how I see it in my head as a sock. Like
Yeah.
a sock account. It's just I see what you're saying because I'm not new to the game. I know what's going on.
You really
Could
think
be
most of people are smart enough to have more than one account? Register like 3 or 4 accounts? You really think they're smart enough to do that?
Yes,
I
I
don't.
do.
I don't.
It's a good way for people who are cowards to still be hostile.
Yes. Clones.
Plus, goblins and gnomes and fairies will probably steal their socks anyways.
And wizards will have a whole bunch of socks, I hear.
Yeah, they wear a sock on their head.
I was talking about word wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. He probably wears a sock on his head sometimes.
Says he's got 10, according to Wizard.
Well, they're still apparently seeking an answer. I don't understand the question. It's a very distinct difference from any other woman we've seen up there. Maybe because she's a distinctly different person than any other.
Yeah, I'm
Today's a
not quite
distinctly
sure what
different day.
I don't notice
I'm not.
anything either.
I
Yeah,
don't even understand what this means. Like,
I don't either.
every one of these characters are so unique on every panel, and the fact that I have come up and presented a new presentment, and now I must be an agent. So watch out for my badge, okay? I might be able to just infiltrate everywhere all at once. Watch out.
I don't get.
It's just a pot stir.
Well, this is the funny thing is this is people. I think it's people. It might not be people. It could be just genuine fucking programming.
What do you say before, Jack? Hurt people hurt people?
Yep.
See, this is why people worry about the AI apocalypse because they don't understand it. So the AI apocalypse will look like nerds with stock accounts because before the machine comes alive, that you're just gonna automate it, and you probably pretend the machine came alive itself for insurance purposes, like Tesla's tried to do and failed. So.
Yep, I was just about to point out that comment. Our polls
Spot on.
got it. Our poll
Yeah.
seems to have a pretty damn good grip on things.
I think so too. Hey, welcome, London. Good to see you, brother.
We should talk Earth on toilet or talk shit on Toilet Bowl Earth since he's apparently muted and just making noises.
Yeah, that didn't. His last comment didn't make any sense.
Mic check.
He's
check.
probably not really muted.
I hear you, London. Welcome, brother.
Mr. Jack Talcott. How are you doing?
Hey. Oh, please. I'm sorry.
Ladies
Go
and
ahead.
gentlemen, sorry. And the other people on the panel, how are we doing? Good evening. Good evening.
What's going on, London?
Mm-hmm. Much love.
It's a beautiful
Salutes,
day.
London. Salutes.
I'm turning you up a little bit though. Hey, I used your stream as my excuse, just so you know. I'm not blaming you, but but I said this earlier. I was inspired, and I've got I got some great thumbnails that I really do want to use. There's a Mein Führer Talcott one I wanted to use. Anyway, I was going to stream earlier, and then I saw yours. You were scheduled, and I was like, no, I don't want to do that. And then I thought maybe I can figure out how to join, but I didn't mess with it. I don't know.
I just got here right before I popped on the panel. I just started listening. Has anybody talked about why the fuck Christos is wearing a blouse?
Woo! Uh-oh. No.
That's my. Did you see this shit?
No. Uh-oh.
Oh my god, dude.
Uh-oh.
Was that on the
like he always wears weird shit, and he's got his giraffe and his rainbow hoodies and stuff. But this is like, hold on, I'll pull it up and share screen. This is like next level.
Hey, yeah. Cult of Culture.
I think he's transitioning.
Join up.
Transitioning. Oh shit.
I don't know why else you'd wear that shit.
Oh shit. Man, oh man.
The Cult of Culture, is that a Moose production? I don't know.
Cult of Culture.
Jack, do you know how to play a guitar or piano? Because if you do, you could probably go pro in your cult leadership. Probably for the UU church.
Damn, I don't though.
Okay, I have a music learning thing. I'll just give it to you in the side chat and let me go look for it. I need to go over it myself too. I just got a new I usually use LMMS, but the MIDI's too hard to goddamn export that program, so I got a Muse sequencer, which I still need to play with, but at least that the MIDI exports properly, and I think I have online sequencer too, which also works properly in like LMMS, which doesn't allow you to export MIDI that you need to do to integrate music systems. But I'll get you my learning thing on the side chat, the inside chat. You outsiders, you could just wait for it. It will come to you eventually.
Hank, I love you, my brother, and you're offering something, but I don't know what you were talking about.
It's music stuff. Let me
Okay.
care for you.
Thank you, my friend. Blessings.
Hi,
Flo?
the music man.
Throw it
Nice.
up. You gotta see this outfit.
Uh-oh. Look at that lineup.
Oh, heavens.
Zoom
What
out.
about the outfit? What's wrong with it? All of them look fine.
No, I'm talking about Christos specifically. Hold on, he's gonna set it down and zoom out in a second. Look at the neckline on this blouse.
Damn.
But he has a good chest. Why not show it off?
I don't know. I just would never go, hey, look at this flowery, huge neckline blouse.
My question is, why don't you have one of those?
I will never wear something like that. Do you see this thing? Look at the puffy sleeves and everything.
Take that. Take that.
Who's that guy that looks like me?
Holy
Krista, set
cow.
your fucking camera down.
Oh, it's Halloween, bro. You gotta let them slide. It's Halloween. They're showing
Yeah,
up.
that's right. It's Halloween.
This is not a costume. This is look at that.
Who's that guy that looks exactly like me and is wearing the same outfit I'm wearing today?
It's
You know,
purple.
I
It's flowy. I don't know.
Hey, it looks like he slept in his boyfriend's t-shirt.
He slept in his
Or-
boyfriend's t-shirt.
I want him to stand all the way back. I don't know if he ever does. I thought he moved around a little bit. Right. Dude, he looks like a grandma going to church or something.
Hey, I don't know if that's just instigating or
Oh, it probably is. We can, yeah, we're done.
Nice outfit, I must admit.
I just had to say something.
Of course you did.
Hey, there's lots of things I don't comment on.
I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are.
Me too.
Man, I'm practicing really, really hard not to say anything right now about what I saw. There's
What,
been
in
a
that clip
huge
or earlier?
the whole
Speak your
thing.
mind. Unless you don't want to.
You have no
Well-
evidence that I keep any thoughts myself. You have no evidence of that.
There's been a really interesting change. Like all the anger that I heard over there, which would be perceived as passion, right? These people truly are in the time of The Walking Dead. Like these guys are prepared for the zombie apocalypse. These are people that are telling us that they can't wait for us to get into FEMA camps. These are people that are telling us that they hope that all of us suffer over this collapse. Like, how is that supposed to be a righteous conversation, on when you want to keep people in such a state of panic and flight, and we're showing money and we're talking about fiat and we're talking about how you have to set, like, it's now, you're not going to have any food, like all of these things. And I just thought, how can these people not see the transition in their personality since their time on there?
Oh,
I
too
don't
much
know
know,
if
like,
it's a
it's-
transition. Do you think it's a
There isn't too much else.
transition, or do you think it's just more revealed?
That's a good question.
They're just listening to too much Alex Jones. It's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. That's the part that is interesting, right? It's not a big deal, but when we want to interact and have other conversations, it's below, it's beneath, it's ridiculous because there's only that major talking points that are happening over there. It, it was interesting to hear those words come out of Christopher's mouth today, to unsub from all of those channels, right? This is a person that I had seen be on everybody's panel a week ago. So the day that I saw that when Ian came back on OTW is where I saw a huge change happening with all of these personalities. Again, it was almost like we went back to square one of when it first was going on at We Awake TV. Am I wrong, Jack?
No, you're not wrong. May I add real quick? Because this stuff only expose people's true nature. This is why Ian's camp got leaned on before, because he had those slimy ones underneath him. Now look where the slimy ones are now. I swear to God, you can't make this shit up.
Yep, and there's no middle ground.
Well, there's the narrow path of truth. It brings many confrontations and a lot of resistance, a lot of challenges to see if that path is right. But
well, those people over there are saying that we're all going to die.
Well, they're not
You
wrong.
know, these people.
But yeah, I mean, they're right.
You know, we're all going to die, and we're all victims, and we're all this, and we're all that. And then to me, that's the propaganda of Goyim.
Amen.
Right? You know, they tell you are beneath them, and that, you know, they hope that you die. You know, those are very strong words to be using broadcast after broadcast.
Yes,
and then for people to not have a different perspective on it, and then ridicule them and mock them, and actually it doesn't even matter anymore, because I won't be interested in what happens with that movement. But it is a movement that I've seen happening through the echo chambers here on YouTube, because I have people in my own life that are living that lifestyle, and they're nothing like that. You know, they're nothing like that. They have their homesteads, they're protected, they grow their food, and they are not hateful, spiteful people. They are good people preparing for the possibility of people to come to them in their time of need if necessary.
Yeah, it's. You're talking about specifically probably when I heard him say that it was something like, you know, don't be coming to me when, you know, World War III kicks off or some shit like that. People who are hostile and have nothing to offer, I've noticed, tend to move in then into a fantasy situation in which their audience, whoever they're talking to, is in harm, right? Normally it's violent. Normally I hear it with MGTOW people being like, well, who are you going to look to protect you when, you know, you're in a dark alley and a scary dude comes out, not realizing like, bro, you are the scary dude in probably all of these situations in real life.
Yeah, the MGTOW people ignore me. That's why I left them. They especially TFM, they hope and wish for a collapse because they think they'll be on top, and there's no reason for anyone to believe that. It doesn't make any sense that we collapse, they'll take over. They don't have resources. They don't have people. They don't know how to manage. So it doesn't make any sense. So keep wishing. But if they were ready for collapse, they could just move into a shithole and be fine. They ain't ready.
Yeah, and I guarantee he's not ready. I wouldn't go to him for like just a brisk walk around the block.
Good luck on that.
Hey, this is the thing though. We've got all of these competitive spirits, people who are spending time just competing for the point of competing and arguing. And there's
so let me
go ahead.
Let me spin it sort of a tangent, but ask you a question built off that.
Yeah.
What's that tell you about human nature when you look at it and how it would fit into an economic system then? And that was a sincere question. It wasn't, I'm not trying to like gotcha or anything.
No, well, the answer to your question is there's a lot to be learned. Human nature is, man, that is a deep topic. But in the end, what has been shown is human nature is malleable. And it's powerful through the creation and the intentions of others. So we're here to find balance between individual strength and connection to the greater being. I don't know how we got onto economics, Flow State, but I sure am glad that we did, because we don't need this stuff, man. Seriously.
Stale for everybody, I think.
We gotta have it.
We ain't got to have nothing except the truth.
Somewhere in between what you two are saying, I think is the right.
Well, socialism isn't the answer.
No, I don't need the truth. No, thank you.
No, the truth is the answer. All that is, hey, actually, back to that video I watched earlier, all that really is consciousness. Consciousness is mind. Mind is the activity of thought. The activity of thought and mind, consciousness, include imagination. It's through our imagination that we gain understandings of the greater knowing. And it's actually within our mind. It's through the interpretation of the spiritual and energetic essence, between the spiritual and energetic essence of the moment being perceived through the signals received and processed in the mind. We're just perceptions. We're just imaginations. We are beings that were imagined by an infinite creator. Why? So that we could follow that pattern and imagine and create the lives of our dreams. It makes sense if you allow it.
It did not.
If you allow it. Oh, listen, I don't mean to be a party pooper, but you know I'm several hours ahead of you guys, and I got work tomorrow. I just stopped by to say, yo,
real good.
There you go.
Respect. Peace. Thank you for joining, and please take some peace, walk away with gratitude, and hopefully a little more joy, my friend.
There you go. Much love. Peace out.
God bless. These lives we're living, man. What I have really learned to trust, I mean, just simple logic. I only live now. That's it. Simple as that. I only live right now. So right now, how do I want to be? Well, I want to be honest. I want to be peaceful. I want to be generous. And grateful. Sounds to me like I want to be love, man. And why not? Because that's where we come from. Divine love emanated into form. Time and space brought us to know today. That's right, man. See, there's all these things going on. I don't want to compete. I just want to share love. I want to show support.
You've been showing a lot of love and support yesterday and today. I'm not going to go back too much further than that because we're living in the now. But I've seen a lot of love and patience and it's really hard to hold that back sometimes. And I respect people who don't always have to say many words and who can be silent. Silence is golden when you really need that space to recenter yourself. And it emanates from you, Jack, that this is where you're at in your life right now. So I see your message. It's if you can be in a state of consciousness to be relaxed and look within yourself, it's a nice place to be. When I found that for myself, I was having some issues in my own life and I healed myself. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. And then I changed that lifestyle to the animals that I work with and they got better. So I thought, okay, I must be on to something. And it's a nice place to be. I'm not in a flight or fight, scared mode. I've been that way my whole life, and I don't want to be in that space anymore.
Good for you. I'm sorry to interrupt, but yes, that testimony, that I want to offer congratulations. You got me so excited, sincerely. Where you're at, I know that pattern. And if there are people who are tuning in and you're, maybe you haven't noticed it, but maybe if you're honest, you are, or maybe you have been living with that pattern of just unease, just never feel safe, never feel whole or complete. Sometimes that comes from the practice of trying to hold ourselves together, of being strong in the times when when it was okay to crumble, right? We've all hit those points, and we all pass through those points, and it appears impossible until the other side of it. And then once you're past that fear, past that confusion, that hate, that regret, that shame, that habit, whatever it is, once you're past that weakness, oh, praise God, man. That strength you receive, the peace. Welcome, brother. We're here to change this world, and I know it. And we are.
You can't live with your head in the clouds all the time. You got to keep your feet on the ground in reality.
Thank you, Chuck.
Okay. Hey, Chuck.
Reality
for
doesn't.
You?
I'm just saying, reality.
Why?
Still, why?
He's offering balance, I think.
Yes.
Can I respond to that, Chuck? Do you mind?
Yeah, it's just a balance thing. Go ahead.
So
I do too. Sorry.
Yeah, Jack, I don't mean this in any disrespect to you. I have a family member that I've been kind of worried about too, because she's always in that same space. And I've had to have conversations with her and from time to time and just ask her, sometimes those things that you may think you're hearing or this divine thing that you may be experiencing, don't forget to bring yourself to the now and realize that is you doing that. The Creator gave us this vessel to do things with here in this realm. So when we're talking like that to people, it seems a little crazy because they're not in that same headspace. So we can't get defensive about it when people don't understand it. I think that from what I do from my family member is that all I could do is love and encourage her to do what she needs to do to heal and stay healthy in her headspace. And if that means some of us have to step up a little bit and get out of our own feelers, and she's safe and she's happy and she's well, then who am I to judge that? I had to stop doing that. I had to stop judging where she was and the decisions that she was making in her search in her life.
I get accused of, well, people like to place their doubts, disbeliefs, and insecurities upon me for me to carry. But I've been working on being very grounded. I'm actually, I'm not arrogant, but I would say that is one of my prideful accomplishments within myself, is that I have absolutely been developing in my ability to stay grounded in what is real. I worship the truth. The truth is that which is real, right? I worship reality as though it is God. Okay, I don't care. I mean, that could be easily taken out of context, but I don't fight what is real. I'm grateful to receive information that I know to be true. I'm grateful to learn new things about what is real. I fill myself with the knowledge, as much knowledge as I can, about what is real and what is true. And what it all comes down to, regardless of how much I could learn, regardless of anything else, nothing matters except right now. And right now is always where I am. And what I am experiencing is felt within me, not from outside of me. So I've been learning how to try and find the balance of living within, following the spirit and the guidance and the spirit from within, and trying to live in service of the world.
Well, you're doing service here, Jack.
That's what I hope. Thank you, brother.
Did you just I was talking to somebody last night who's sort of, I'm not going to name her, but it's sort of new to this whole group. And she asked me, she said, is Jack a therapist or a counselor? And I said, no, he's an aspiring life coach. And she was very much supportive of that, and in your court, and thinking that you'd be good at that sort of stuff. So,
thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Look how many lives he's transformed here.
Few will admit it, but I know that my words and I know that we're helping each other. I know that for a fact. And Flo, thank you. That was my progression. I got sober, looked around the rooms of AA, and I did not want to be that in 20 years.
I had the same reaction to go into those meetings.
Yes. So
you guys must have went to the wrong ones.
No, I don't. I have an issue with the whole concept of letting your life still revolve around an addiction.
I do too.
No, that's not what AA is about. It's about living your life without drinking, without the addiction.
Correct. Yeah.
Has nothing. There's only 2 times in the 12 steps that even mentions alcohol. I mean,
I can tell that you like 12 steps. If it's working for you, that's great. It does work for a lot more people than a lot more people in recovery have done so successfully through 12 steps than they have through not using 12 steps. I personally didn't care for it. So
I'll agree with you. It depends on the group you land yourself into.
The point is I saw a lot of people clinging to meetings for their sobriety, clinging to programs for sobriety. Maybe that was it, but it wasn't me. So when I did, God, my life allowed me an experience that was very, very transformative and powerful. It was a shift in my consciousness. It was a break in my ego. Something happened. You could say I received the Holy Spirit. It could be described many ways, but the point is I wanted to help people. I wanted to help people who were suffering the way that I was suffering and just help them figure out what happened with me. So I wanted to be a counselor, but all the state friggin' regulations, and you got to go sit in a classroom and, regurgitate someone else's rules. I was like, fuck that. I don't want to do that. So that's why I turned to life coach. And then as a life coach, you're just one at a time. That's why I wanted to be a speaker. I wanted to be I still have hopes. I'm doing it. I'm doing it right now. I'm being a motivational, inspirational speaker. Just, it's in disguise.
It's not in disguise, Jack. Internet life coach, internet counselor, internet, you're doing something here. And a lot of the things that you say that you want to aspire to do, you are actually doing here. It just may not be in the same way that you've envisioned, but you are actually taking steps. You're showing up every day. You're having discussions with people, listening to people, and you're building a community. And, this is something that, you shouldn't take, like as insignificant, because this is something.
Amen.
Yeah, I even gave her a little pushback. I said he's going to have trouble though finding clients if he's losing his house and shit, right? People don't want to be life coached by someone unless their life is all the way together. And she staunchly disagreed with me though.
Wow.
She said no, that's wrong. Like full out, just point blank. I'm wrong about it. So I was like,
Jack's
okay,
full Kundalini right now, activated.
Yeah, flow state is correct. I do not want to be life
Jack,
coach.
don't let me talk you off.
I don't want to be life coach with someone who doesn't have their life together. If you can reduce it down to like a couple of things, and especially, then I may not even care. Well, you screwed that up, but this part, that's what I need. So.
But no, I was thinking about it from like I recognize that she's probably right. I'm thinking about it from like a very left brain logical man point of view, and like that's just my sort of far extreme edge of the spectrum point of view. That's not everybody's. So yeah. Anyways, she told me I was wrong. I think that's the only thing she told me I was wrong about the whole conversation.
Wow, good for her, and thank you, man.
Yeah.
And
then I suggested that maybe the people that you hang around on panel could be deterring clients, and she didn't push back as hard as on that one.
There is some of that as well.
Flo, oh my gosh, you're a funny guy.
Hey, there is some truth to that, though. Nobody wants to receive advice from someone it appears is doing worse off, whether it's relationship, financial, whatever. And so, yeah, for me to offer, it's
well, not necessarily. I'll take advice from someone who doesn't have it together so I can know what not to do, but I don't want to pay them that much.
I actually really like getting, or at least hearing the perspective of people who people normally don't listen to perspectives from, right? Like the drunk homeless guy under the bridge. People like that who see things from a different angle.
Sometimes they're fun.
I've always actually loved that.
Yeah, like I don't want to pay a shrink for advice and have them deflect and reflect. I'm not gonna pay someone $100, $200 an hour for them to reflect and ask me how I feel about something, because I could just talk to a wall for free. I could talk to a
hard hat. Sorry, hard hat down there. I see you, homie. Come give me your perspective sometime.
But yeah, I could talk to a YouTube panel and they'll enjoy me coming around instead of paying a shrink to deflect and reflect for an hour at a time and me paying them $200 an hour for it and expecting me to say thank you afterwards.
Why do you think that is?
Because I'm cheap.
How does that make you feel?
It makes you feel angry.
What do you want to do with your anger?
I'm gonna fire you, shrink.
We love the honesty, Hank.
You don't want to attack somebody in the billiards room with a candlestick?
Which bar?
Jack, your face.
It depends on which bar.
I just want to sort of a sidebar, but I want to point out how sort of snazzy and snazzy Jack and Hank look, and Jesse, you look fine. You look like a football coach, but
thank you. I kind of allowed my mind to drift a little bit.
I know you. Did you find a Quaalude this morning or something?
No, I actually today I've renewed my commitment to the divine.
I don't know what that means.
Letting go.
Yeah, me neither.
How do you renew that
say
commitment?
This. Jack doesn't want me to say this, but both of us are also watching the Machine Lives right now.
Who? What? Oh, Machine
Yeah.
Live. Yeah,
Yeah,
Machine
we both
Live.
have a tab open to Machine Live stream right now too. But Jack doesn't want me to say that.
Why not?
I don't know why, but he doesn't. I can sense it.
Oh, dude, actually you're right. If
Kick him, Jack.
is Machine Lies going? I thought he
Yeah,
wasn't.
he got removed for a copyright violation for a second week, but he managed to fix that.
Interesting. Oops, actually that's what I did.
So I just switched mics. Does this mic sound better than the last mic that I was on? Does anybody notice?
Yeah, I think it sounds better.
Yes, it's better.
Yes,
But did you get Snowball or
sounds better.
Yeti?
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I've had a really big week for interviews and stuff, and I should have done a really big interview today. It was really good, packed full of information. And another one, Santos Bonacci, is tomorrow, so another big interview. That guy is on a wild trip right now, so it'll be fascinating to see what comes out of him tomorrow.
Yep, don't
Wow.
be judged, kids.
You are going to have an interview with Santos Bonacci tomorrow. That's amazing.
It'll be the second interview. The first time I interviewed him, he double booked, and he had done this to the person that he double booked with, and he's like, but it wasn't live with that person. He goes, "Are you live?" And I said, "Yeah, I've advertised everywhere that you're going to be on." And so he had just had his hand in his head like this for a while, and he wasn't really good. So when we started the interview, he wasn't in the best, mood or whatever. And after about 20 minutes of asking questions, and kind of got to know me a little bit better, we had a really good interview and stuff. So he's taken a break for interviews for a while. And I booked this 3 or 4 months ago. He said in November, and I'm like, which day? He's like, how about the 1st? And so we booked it a while ago. Recently he's been going off, really going off.
Oh my God, yeah. Are you gonna hit him with those hard hitting questions? Get him going, spin him up like.
Of course. So I'll take a progression to get there. I want to get a bunch of
Who's that? Who's his homie? Ask him if his homie is his plug. You know what I'm talking about. The younger guy who started kind of co-hosting on his channel for a while.
No, I haven't watched too much of his stuff. I just seen some other panelists bring his stuff up, and I wasn't actually even subscribed to his channel. And then I started seeing, I was like, holy macaronis, he's on a tear. So
yeah, he's out in left field.
Well, it should be a good time. Don't be too soft and Canadian with him now. Get him really going.
Today seemed pretty good as well. You've had some fascinating guests, and there are some fascinating people coming together. And at the same time, there's a lot of pretty horrific things that are being shown in the news. I mean, guys, at some point,
the news is mind control.
Partially, but that is what all this is. All of this is mind control. It
Well,
is all
there's horrible
information.
things going on everywhere all the time. There's horrible things next door. There's horrible things on the other side of your house. I mean, that doesn't mean that you need to like let it dominate your worldview, you know?
Right.
That's an excellent point. I stopped watching the news about 5 days ago, trying to follow up with anything because it was putting me in a space where I didn't like it. I've been there for too long with all of this. So absolutely right. It is meant to scare you right now.
Yeah, especially in the digital age now. Now it's about speed, right? The most clicks, which puts a premium on speed over accuracy. So everything is, going to press immediately, and then it's unconfirmed, but nobody ever sees the retraction. It's just sort of, the news has turned into a rumor mill almost.
Yeah, what would be nice is like a auditing service to go.
Bye, Chuck. Love you.
Yeah, what we need is like an auditing service that can go ahead. We can feed the stream into to at least get the text out. Then we fact check the text. And if we want to make some money, Flow State, we make a market out of it, a prediction market based on the news, so people who guess the right thing ahead of time happens, they make more money. But that's gonna be hard to do. But that's why we want to do. In fact, the first thing we'll probably feed it is Alex Jones because he makes a fuck ton of predictions.
Yeah, he does, but they're all obscure enough. I don't know that you could really get a good investment. Maybe you could. I don't know. One of my best buys was I don't remember what the company is called, but it's the main one that does remote learning software.
There's a bunch of those.
It was the biggest one. It's specifically, it creates the modules for school kids for their online learning. Anyways, that was a good buy. I missed the opportunity to buy not StreamYard, Skype before the lockdowns, but I got on board with the school shutdowns. So anyone watch any good porn lately?
No.
Yes, of course.
No.
Bible Black again. It's really hard to get better than that.
Hey, I'm just sitting here looking at my phone. Some of the arrogant dumbasses who hide behind a keyboard and want to offer whatever to bring the.
Oh, I didn't even know you were looking at anything. There was just a break in the. There was a silence, and I broke it. It was just a.
Yes.
I didn't know you were looking at a phone. It wasn't at you.
There's some crazy people. Whoever's texting me, God bless you. Thank you for your insults and your criticisms and all of your opinions. Thank you for sharing those. You're clearly culted. Fucking people trying to
Truth cop, let me in on the ground level. I don't want the crypto. I want the channel. Crypto doesn't have anything backing it. Crypto's a scam.
You go first.
I was just gonna say it's literally hype. That's it. Like if you could buy hype, that's what crypto is.
Yes.
I agree with you. There were a couple of pretty good networks, but unfortunately they waste too much energy relative to other options. They can't win long term. I'm bearish on crypto.
Oh, and trust.
I'm gonna say this again. Store credit's probably gonna be crypto in 10 years. The store credit
That doesn't make any sense though, because store credit's denominated in dollars, right? So if the dollar inflates and prices go up, they go up too against your card.
Yeah, but crypto's strictly denominated in dollars. At least the store credit's explicit about it.
I mean, some of those gift cards already are the crypto if you're a criminal.
Exactly my point. The criminals are pretty much driving the market, and they'll use Bitcoin, but they'll prefer gift cards over crypto.
Oh, look, Nude Guru wants to rub communist penises with you again, Jack. Capitalism makes it so that to get paid, you have to provide a service.
Right. To eat, someone else has to determine your worthiness.
Yeah,
to get something from me, you have to give me something in return so that I want to give you money. Yes, it has to be a in pure capitalism. It has to be a mutually beneficial exchange. I don't think that we have a better system than that.
Well, but that's just it. It's built on this fairy tale and lies that it must require mutual beneficial agreements, and yet there's all these plausible deniability, unclear contracts, undefined terms, all these manipulation and confusion. It's all bullshit, Flo. Yeah. I'm sorry, man. We've been lied to.
Yeah, capitalism's a scam, but at least
that's too ambiguous of a problem, right? Like when you went and bought that jacket, did you want the jacket more than the money? Yes.
Apparently.
And they wanted the money. That's what capitalism is. It's just buying and trading freely.
Yep. Yeah. With pieces of paper and figures of accounting that others have imagined they control.
So I think that you might not have an issue with capitalism so much as the central bank's fiat system, which I agree is a problem.
So hold it, Flo. That's just a market. That's not all capitalism. There's parts of capitalism people
under a capitalist economy, right? Basically the two foundations of capitalism are property ownership rights and voluntary trade.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm fine with both of those, but there's a few details. I mean, market socialism has both of those too. There's some details that need to work out.
Hold on, hold that thought, because I was not paying attention for half of it. But Truth or Cop, I'll go up there. I don't know who that is, but send me a reminder next time. Wes Robinson, I'll forget it. Sorry, Hank, what were you saying?
So I was saying that market socialism has both of those market aspects as capitalism does. So there's some details.
It doesn't have. I mean, assuming that by socialism you mean communism light.
No, I don't. No, I don't mean communism. I mean market socialism has both.
Socialism. All Marxist theories are the gradual erosion of those two concepts, both property rights and voluntary exchange.
You didn't read enough Marx. He didn't say that. He said his ideal.
No, he didn't say that. I'm telling you what it is in practice. He did not say that.
Yeah.
Of course he wouldn't say that. He's trying to sell his idea. But the closer to communism you get, the more of your property you don't have a right to, and the more involuntary trades you have to make.
Well, yes and no. I think the second part is true. The first part I do not think is necessarily true in all cases.
How is it not true?
What called? Well, yeah, certain versions of socialism that's not all the way communism. I can trade just fine. They try to make trade unnecessary, but they're just dumb bureaucrats, so they'll screw that up. But
I mean, with economics and politics, I view it as just a sliding scale between individual freedom or centralized authority.
Yes, but if we pick one individual and make them as free as possible, then they're the dictator. They dictate everyone else. So,
not if everybody's free.
Well, after everyone's equally free, it's just gonna be a war of wills. It's just one person trying to impose a will on another. And must we go from a competition in the use of force to a monopoly? Then we just have a government again. We have a war or a government, pretty much. And if we're gonna have a war,
New
I want the
Guru,
rules to
ownership
be
is not a fairy tale. How is ownership a fairy tale? Do you own your toothbrush? Do you own your house? I mean, like, what? I don't know how ownership is a fairy tale. If you're talking about class or like asset ownership, if you're playing the trust game, that's a different conversation than the one I'm having. But yes, we all own, even a communist doesn't believe he doesn't own his own toothbrush.
Yeah, it's true. Communists do believe they own their toothbrush. Yes, they call it personal property. But no,
Right.
but the communists haven't just made a good line about the difference between personal property and just non-personal property. They don't make the line clear enough for me. I don't like it.
So have you heard of the definition communitarianism?
Yes,
Yeah.
I have. New Guru, that's exactly the same thing you said above. That adds no more clarity to the claim. I think that what you say right here is imaginary.
Yeah, I understand it. So ownership's a thing we made up. That is true. But control is something we didn't make up. It's just a physical thing.
New Guru, if nothing was owned, everything was shared, why would anybody ever engage in any activity that required more work than what you're going to do in one sitting?
Because people are irrational. They do that already. They
don't. Like, I don't go plant an apple orchard in somebody else's yard for them.
Well, I did last Saturday.
Hank, are you arguing with me just to argue?
Well, not necessarily. It's factual that I did do just that. I did that with Free Pittsburgh Saturday morning last week.
We do actually naturally give and share. I mean, give and offer. It's part of who we are. We don't need motivation of money to do it. What we need is motivation of virtue, of what is right. We
can look at people and see that virtue, I'm talking you too, Nude, especially, virtue doesn't motivate people nearly like personal gain does.
In a world that has been confused. But we can each grow, adjust our own values. You know, we can start holding ourselves to higher standards, start helping each other to raise their standards for themselves. And then the next thing you know, we'll be competing with each other, seeing who can actually give more to the community.
I thought we didn't like competition.
With each other what's that?
I thought we didn't like competition.
Yeah, really.
Cutthroat competition.
Yeah. If we're going to compete, let's compete with a purpose rather than this bullshit domination or entertainment.
But Jack, what's in it for me? What's in it for me if I contribute to the community?
A better world, being recognized for the service you're offering, not so much for how much you've acquired, but how much you've been able to give to the community. The community, when we all start raising our values, start thinking about people beyond just ourselves or our small little community, when we start expanding ourselves and giving of ourselves, that's the future we're bringing. That's the future that's why I do this. That's the future I do see coming forth.
So it looks to me like you're suggesting paying people in ego coins rather than actual coins. If we could tokenize ego coins and say, here, you get more ego coins because you've provided more to other people, isn't that just money again? We're back to capitalism.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
But the thing is we've got to be able to trust each other, to be able to come together, join together with the intention to figure it out. We've got to accept what's going on today is not acceptable. It's, praise God. The only thing we control is what is in our lives, but we choose the direction. We choose the part of the world we want to engage with.
And with the technology that we have now, we have the ability to have abundance for all and have a system
Amen.
that we've never, ever had before. You can't compare it to anything and say, hey, where this has ever worked. It's never worked because it's never happened before, because the need for greed and dominate others, controlling others, has taken precedent since at least 6,000 years or maybe the beginning of time.
You guys understand that what you're displaying is also the need to dominate others.
Yeah.
Wait, dominate or
Yes,
protect, nurture,
right.
protect, nurture, care for? I mean, that
I
is
said dominate.
Creative.
In what way?
If you want to impose a different value system on other people.
Nobody said imposing. We were talking about abundance. If everything was abundant,
well, okay, you're talking about abundance. I'll give you that.
Abundance, so there's no imposing anything. We're not trying to impose any. But if everything was abundant around, then there wouldn't be the need to steal. There wouldn't be a need because anybody can have anything. And so, why would people want to be the shit stain on society when a society is flowing so abundantly? Who would want to, be the outcast of it?
There are lots of people who would want that.
There are. Hey, and Flo, but what you were asking, this kind of goes with a question I was asking myself earlier. Between guiding and controlling, guide versus influence, influence versus control. What we're talking about is influencing the values, offering different perspectives, maybe different ways of looking at things. It's not to force anyone to do so, but it is to try and persuade, to encourage people, hey, think about the benefits of this way and what might be better.
The person who loves their dream of community will destroy community, but the person who loves those around them will create community.
Yes, that is true. And no community can become whole with if it's just filled with fractured people. We can each become more whole. And that's what I see happening. I honestly do. I see throughout the world, through the news and different events, people are waking up to different things. More and more people are recognizing the spiritual aspect of life. That's what I'm here kind of trying to presenting is we can rise above the material confusion, the laws and legal systems that are paying for wars and all this banking system nonsense. We can overcome that by embracing the spiritual nature of who we are. We are God's children of God. We are forms of God within God, playing with God, in God, who get to think what we want.
All right, I want to point at the speed bump.
Please.
So if my goal is to get as many BJs as possible, I have to ignore.
That's an admirable ambition. Carry on.
Yeah, I have to ignore peace and go for domination. Otherwise, women won't feel safe enough because they don't want peace. They want to be with the guy who can call the shots. So I would have to ignore peace just to meet my goal of getting more BJs.
So guys,
I need to like scroll back and re-listen to that.
Yolanda, do you got an answer for that one?
I've really been enjoying listening. It's been like a ping pong effect. I'm if I could show you how big the smile is on my face just watching the intellectual conversation going back and forth. You guys are really, really very funny.
At best.
Yes, Dom. At this point, I'm not big with numbers. You know, that's not my expertise, and then I don't know so much it is Jack's either. Otherwise, I think he'd be a little bit more alert to what you guys are speaking on because it's all facts. As much as we may want the utopia, I don't feel like utopia will be in my timeline. So we are the stepping stones for the possibility, I think, of a good transition. But I think the best transition is this platform.
I hope we never reach utopia.
Yeah, I've given up on utopia. I'm just going to take my favorite dystopia.
I can't imagine anything more boring and torturous than utopia.
Well, we'll be in a FEMA camp, so we won't be getting into utopia.
Speaking of hurting people around, Nude Guru, capitalism is a livestock management system, but it also gives you the freedom to be the manager or to be the cow if you want. So if you are part of the livestock, that's on you.
How long have we been in a capitalistic, state, flow state?
I don't think that we're in one anymore at all. Really, I don't. I think the closest thing that we're in is fascism, like technically, because the government contracts decide the private sector winners.
So did we get there because of capitalism?
We got there because of increased socialistic policies. Because of a lack of there's been monopolization happening.
Monopolization. So that capitalism created monopolization, created
the wealth.
You created the wealth disparity where the people had these money to pay these lobby groups to change the laws in order to get to that fascist state. So
if there was no government to leverage
capitalism, though.
No, government was created because of fucking other tribes.
No, the getting to fascism happened because of capitalism.
How so?
Yeah, Jesse's right. The government was created by the businesses to maintain their wealth. So Jesse's completely right there.
Government was created by businesses to maintain their wealth?
Affirmative.
No.
Or by people to protect them from... it depends on how you look at it, right? There's different angles to government. Does it protect the people? Does it protect the businesses? Yeah, all I can say that everyone can agree on is that it's a power behemoth, right?
It's mind control.
Yes.
Government was created for mind control, to control the masses, right? But in a capitalistic state where you have these people that become mega wealthy, now they can control through that mind control, controlling the government, they can control everybody else because capitalism allowed that to happen. That system.
Okay, capitalism has nothing to do with government, really. Like conceptually, it's not about the government, and it's when the government is interfering on the behalf of corporations. That's a step away from free market exchange.
In a utopic world, free market capitalism would function properly. But where you said you don't even want utopia, so how can free market capitalism? How can free market capitalism work when there are these people that have the need to dominate, control, and even genocide others because of the wealth that they've attained through that capitalistic means?
The only way that they can the government is the problem, not the capitalism. The government's what's got a monopoly on force. The government's what decides who's right and who's wrong. The government's what allows these things and then provides barriers to entry later. Why do you think healthcare is so fucked off? Because of government regulations and barriers to entry.
So but flow state, you only have you have two options: a monopoly over force and the competition of force. And the competition of force is a war. Which
Well, the
one
fact
you
of the
want?
matter is that resources do accumulate with people who use them more efficiently or better off. I don't know that that's a bad thing. Not everybody deserves all the things they think they deserve. That's just a fact.
So what
Does
fuels
everybody not?
capitalism, guys? Hold on a second. What fuels capitalism? All the isms actually fuel capitalism. Now, if, as I heard you earlier, Jesse, about abundance, if most of us don't have crafts that actually works with it, that's what it's going to run all the time. Capitalism is just for profits, and every government, doesn't matter what government it is throughout the world, works to favor that for corporations. Now, capitalism will never work because of human factors. Now, you can defend it to no fucking end.
Like,
Now,
such
if
as
most
what?
of us,
What human? I want to hear. I don't disagree. I just want to know what you're thinking.
well, whether it's communism, liberalism, it's not going to work because it's human factors. Now, if people understood about you have to have a craft and then you can barter it in exchange and all that kind of stuff, we can use utopia, whatever you want to use. Those are just fucking words. Because if you actually have a craft, you understand how the moon and sun works, you know what you can trade and all that, it could serve. Now, the concept of peace does not work in the physical as much as it works into the spiritual realm. Now, unfortunately, when I hear somebody defending it because you're looking at a country that has a currency that's overinflated and it's for profit will, if that currency was useless, they wouldn't care about profits in this part of the world. Now, if a person wants to own anything, it's usually done by force. Now, that's beyond capitalism. If anything else, communism runs the world, not capitalism. The masses are falling under that category. The few run under what they call take whatever the fuck I want. Now, if you're going to defend capitalism, you have to put in human factors. If you don't put in human factor, you're going to do all this defense and attack shit. You're a trillionaire. How did you become a trillionaire? Sorry. Go ahead.
So what I want to see is in agent models that could show me even under ideal circumstances that the system works. That's what I really want to see. I would make.
We can look at the history of our country for that. You can look at the history of America and look how booms and busts before the Fed, especially before 1913, ideally. But look at how booms and busts correspond to increase in government regulations and decrease. It's almost perfectly uniform. I mean, look at how the whole westward
by design of the bankers. By design of the bankers, they retaliate.
Correct.
They manipulate.
All they're doing, and it's wrong, I agree, is they're releasing capitalism in doses so that because it works better for growth.
Floyd, unfortunately, when you have a country, and it's not America, the Federal Reserve that works out of America that holds the rest of the country hostage. America's not $30 trillion in the hole. If you factor in pensioners, America's $300 trillion in the hole. So that capitalism that anybody talks about, it only works if you can print the fucking money and not worrying about it. And that's why they have military everywhere, because they have to. Go ahead.
Sort of. Hold on a second.
Well, you got to factor in that, you know, that flow. You understand about how fiat currency works and all that, whether you're doing arbitrage, international trade, and all that.
What is the?
But do you understand that debt is literally money? Money's literally debt right now. It's the same thing.
Based on the citizens.
So I wouldn't worry about.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about there be a huge debt because we're just printing money so we can use it to buy stuff.
Yeah, but Hank, when you find out in 2005 when America's currency was valued at 9 cents to the dollar, it collapsed. You're sitting in a country that's collapsed. That's why in 2008 they did a bailout for their friends, and that's why they're actually just shifting all that around to other countries.
Yeah, that wasn't capitalism, though.
No, you're right.
That's an involuntary transaction. The bailouts.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But China's not doing any better than we are, so I don't know. I've watched China Uncensored. They're not doing any better than we are.
Well, for the last 20 years, Russia and China have been forced to finance America's fucking war military machine. So now when you start figuring that, and what does it do to a country when they have to finance another country? It devalues their currency. Hey, how about we put them on the gold standard now? Because it's so devalued.
Yeah, but Russia would rather have us do the war stuff because they're not very good at it, as you can see now. They're not very good at
They're so ahead of us in the drones, Hank. All that stuff they have is in drone technology.
And it wasn't
forced by Ukraine. So,
wasn't forced to finance them. This was by design with Kissinger, and the whole plan is to get China to finance, so that way they can bankrupt America and actually win a war against them economically, opposed to militarily.
Military and economy are hardly different. I mean, they are different, but you one's a prerequisite to the other one.
True.
And
Yes.
but you're right, Jesse.
Jack, you wanted to say something? Did he take off for a little bit? I know he wanted to get in there, and everybody was jumping in.
Mm-hmm. Ascendant ancient is correct. Socialism and communism takes advantage and exploits workers.
Like, I get what you're saying, Flowstain, in a simplistic view of capitalism, just functioning properly, but we have to, include all the dynamics of this, earth, especially even the spiritual aspect of it, because of what's going on with this, darkness, light, evil that's wanting to.
I don't know that I think all the things need to be considered when we're talking about the economy. And I think that's actually the problem, is economics gets conflated into everything. It's just a method. It's just a function of how do you get resources where they should go. It doesn't need to take into all that other confusion. That confuses the thought process, doesn't help correct
Do you think
There's
everybody
simple
has a right?
answers. Sorry
what?
to speak over you.
I was just going to say, do you think everybody has a right to, food, shelter, and water? Do you think that that's a right that every man, woman, and child should have on this earth when we have so much abundance and resources?
Not if they want to
Who
lay on
has
their
the
ass.
obligation to supply it?
Not saying I didn't. That's not the question. You asked
Well,
a
but it's
question
the
for
other side
question,
of
right? But
right.
I'm just a simple question. I'm just
No,
asking what you
no,
think. So you
no.
don't think that people have a right? You're
No.
born in here. That if you come and you're born into a shitty circumstance, that's shitty luck for you, and too bad how sad. It's nobody else should have any.
I think that if you drive
empathy
your
for that.
vehicle into the middle of the desert and claim that you have a right to have water pumped out to you, you're wrong.
But that's not the question.
That's not the question.
Well, that's a scenario in which I would say that
Jesse,
person does not have the right.
Hey, Flo, thank you. I'm ready to wrap up.
Okay.
Jesse, you were asking the right question. Flo, your resistance. It's what I've been dealing with. I truly love you, but God dang it. We can sit and complain. We can sit and analyze the past. We can sit and gossip about each other and complain about what has happened, or we can start discussing solutions. And I've been trying to offer solutions. Take them or leave them. But
Jack, do you think if you drive in the middle of the desert, somebody has an obligation to bring you water?
if the opportunity for someone to help someone is revealed, yeah, they should go fucking help that person who needs some water.
Why doesn't that person just not do a douchey thing and move out of the desert?
Ask God.
Okay. Well, all right.
Okay, I understand. I understand what you're saying about the self-responsibility. Yes. Some asshat goes out, places himself in danger. How much responsibility is there on the others to make them safe, to take that, to give them health and life? But the question that you deflected from, well, no, you did answer it.
I did answer it. Not everybody has the right to anything.
And I disagree. This is the brainwashing we've been conditioned, is that there's this separation of value. Someone's worthy or someone's not worthy based upon what? Based upon how much they demonstrate that they value themselves. Okay, and so who's going to judge that? You from a distance?
Sure. If somebody goes out in the desert and says, "You owe me water," I'll say, "Go fuck yourself. You owe yourself water." If you're going to go out and die of thirst in the desert,
Flo,
I don't give a fuck about that person.
Arguments, dude, it's hilarious. You imagine a scenario. Yeah, okay. You created this scenario where someone's in the desert demanding you bring me water. Well,
Because
duh.
it
Don't be
illustrates,
fucking
look, it
stupid, man.
illustrates an issue, though, in the whole paradigm, which is that for every right, somebody is responsible for providing it to you.
God.
And I don't agree. I don't believe in placing obligations on people that they don't want, nor are they responsible for.
Okay.
That goes across the board. I have
Does
a
that include
fundamental,
life?
principled disagreement with providing universal health care or free food. Should people of their own generosity help people who are in need? Yes, absolutely.
How
Do I
about we
think that
help
it's any sort
eliminate
of virtue
the need?
to say you have to pay for that guy? Fuck no.
Let's stop. Right.
Hey,
We
Jack.
can move beyond the paying for. This is the whole fucking point.
Jack, can we pray to God for an answer to that question?
Which question?
Which one? You said ask God why someone's in the desert asking Flow State for water. Can we pray to God for an answer?
I'll be right back real quick. You guys discuss this amongst yourselves. I won't be gone very long, but if you do wrap up before you get back, because I couldn't tell if you were ending for real or if you were just getting tired of my bullshit. Either way, you're about to get a break. If you do, before I go, I'm going to stream in like an hour or so probably because you got me fired up and I thought you were about to kick it. But yeah, anyways, talk amongst yourself about utopia. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And,
so, dear God, please give us an answer to why some assholes in the desert beg for water. They could probably
and Tarek, I expect you to come up and explain yourself why I'm wrong.
And on that note, Flow State doesn't have enough water for both in many ways.
Hank,
so please,
Hank,
God,
the answer came. Hank, the answer came.
Yes. What is it?
Well, it's in the same place where the problem started, in Flo's mind. That's where the answer is. The answer is, guys, all of us have been overcomplicating life. Seriously. We only live right now. What the past has done or what it means, yeah, that is important, but what's most important is what we do today. And today, I'm encouraging you guys, when you find that word we can't or impossible, challenge yourself and think beyond it, particularly in the people you can't forgive, you can't understand. Because I tell you what, this creator of ours that brings forth the day, that brings forth life through us. Oh, this reminds me why I was so inspired earlier. It's the feelings, guys. You are here to feel life. I got into my massage, my meditation earlier. I had just fucking energy flowing through me and it just feels strong. And it's like, this is love. This is what life is about. This pleasure, presence. Guys, I trust God is with us all. Miracles. I am gambling that miracles will be revealed in my future. Why? Because that's what the stories say, and that's what everything I've learned has shown me. And I see miracles. Everything is in layers, right? Subtleties. I see subtle miracles every day. And every moment really is. It's a powerfully subtle miracle.
We've been living in a corrupt, broken system for, decades, hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. That's been poisoned right now. People have been poisoned. People are having a hard time even taking care of themselves through the poison that people have profited on. Now, what do we do about those people that are living that can't really, take care of themselves, that are needing some assistance? Do we just forget about them because they've been poisoned to the part where they're so injured, they're suffering, and that we should just forget about them because it's not my responsibility? Or do we all have a responsibility to help our fellow brothers and sisters, get out of this, terrible situation that we're all in, and we're only as strong as our weakest link? And if there's people that are suffering out there and we can help them, and we feel that it's not our obligation to help them, then I think that, we will just perpetuate that broken system.
Okay, let's assume I have responsibility to help them. I don't have nearly enough wealth to keep myself going unless I focus on it. How am I supposed to help all those people?
Lobby governments that have that type of wealth. There's situations, not just giving your wealth, but in order to vote for the right things or adopt the right principles when these ideas come up. Yes, we need to, as a whole, government can print money. Government's been spending money in all these crazy places. We're not saying take money out of your pocket when you're having a hard time providing for yourself, but there is an unlimited amount of wealth out there that's being hoarded. And now if we distribute that wealth evenly, then everybody can have the basic needs met. And that's, I think, everybody's responsibility in order to push for that type that, yes, we do need to care for everyone. You don't have to take it from your house or your car, but there is an abundance of wealth that's being hoarded that should be shared, amongst the people.
Hey,
so if I lobby the government to give us right to repair and for reducing copyright so people actually own the stuff they bought, then that'll be a good step at least.
Hey, let me address this comment. Angeline, beautiful. This is what I feel within me. If someone's not helping themselves and you see them self-sabotaging, just suffering with the hell of addiction. When we see people not helping themselves, purposely harming themselves, seriously ask why. I'd encourage you, ask your spirit, the spirit of your consciousness, your loving spirit. Why did I see this? Why did I learn of this? Why are they doing this? Can I be of help? Or is this something for me to learn from? Yeah, maybe I'm doing this in some way. But if we can understand others, and then if we can find a way to help them heal themselves, help them help themselves, man, that is what creates change in this world. Some of the strongest freaking people I've met have been through absolute hell. And they're angels today because someone came by and said, hey, let me take some of your pain. Let me hold some space with you. Let me help you heal.
So if someone has an addiction, I don't understand why should I police what they put in their own bodies. What I don't understand yet. Why should I be in charge of what they put in their bodies?
Hank, I love the perspectives you bring. Thank you. Because what I'm saying, yeah, it can be taken out of context. Each person is on their own path, but honestly, I personally see addiction and poverty, both of those, they're individual diseases. Individuals suffer, and they do suffer in hell from the pain of addiction and poverty. Those are symptoms of a diseased fucking society. And we blame the individuals for the pain that they are carrying. Addiction and poverty are a result of falling through the cracks, of not receiving the opportunities, sometimes self-sabotage. You know what? Karma's a bitch. Some of us are going through our hell, for some divine reason.
So if we had a healthy society, would addicts and poverty exist still, even a little bit?
I think the I think the amount of it, everything is layers, right? There's layers of wealth, layers of poverty, layers of health, layers of disease. I think we can reduce the layers of poverty and addiction, the opportunities for those, if we really do start healing our communities. As individuals, as we as individuals become more whole, then we feel we can allow ourselves to be part of greater things. A man in fear will be focused only on his family, right? The rest of the community, they're in it for themselves, and those families, they got to look out for them, but I got to look out for mine. A man who is strong, he becomes a father for the community around him, becomes a leader in the community wherever he goes. And that's for all of us to do. The key that I've been learning and growing in seriously is learning how to trust in the truth. And we only live right now. So settle into now. Rest in your creator. Rest in the hands of your creator, which is you and everything that was.
Jack, if I can share just a bit, actually, the word and what you just said, divide and conquer, comes to mind on that one. Jesse, you had talked earlier about rights opposed to maybe staples. Food and shelter should be a staple for the human race. And giving them the opportunity to actually obtain those things are important. So now Flo brought up the issue of, and this is how we can use examples of different isms. If somebody was in the desert, well, they've shown that over and over again. You can have military base that set up in the desert, and they'll bring food and shelter to them. So that means that those things do exist. But unfortunately, a lot of these isms, what they do is they divide us. You know, how many people remember where the sun and the moon has to be to grow a crop, how actually to graze your animals, how to steward your own vessel, let alone how to steward the land. That's what the schooling system has failed us. But at the same time, that could have been designed that way. This is why people play this defense and attack game with each other, where none of the isms work. Communism in its purest form can work. Democracy will never work. But the reason why communism doesn't even work because it's human factors. And by the way, Hank, if you understand dependencies, when you give up a bunch of dependencies for exchange for one, then that's called an addiction. You fast long enough, you'll realize what your number one addiction is besides eating or drinking. It's air. Now, you're talking about ones that go astray, but a lot of that is most of us don't know how to steward our bodies anymore. And once you realize that, you're going to be attracted to dopamine rushes or insulin rushes. That's just when a person becomes aware from within. You know, I get it. Where a lot of these conversations are very intellectual, should be more intuitive opposed to intellectual conversation. And this is where I think Yolanda talked about it yesterday. When people break down the ideal of what the masculine and the feminine energy is, one is masculine energy is the programmable energy. You want to learn things, you got to be in your feminine energy. Don't think just because you're a male or a female, those are just forms. It's your energy that actually you can bring out and manifest it in the physical. This is where, Jack, you're talking about peace, God's harmony. God is in the silence. He doesn't need, he or it or whatever does not need to interfere. We have to do our part. And what is our part? Anyway, sorry guys, I went on again.
Hey,
don't
Dominic,
be sorry, man. That was awesome.
That was beautiful, and I love everything you said, and especially at the end, that it goes with what I resonated with today. What are we supposed to do or be? Love, man. Love is this moment. The divine presence is all that is, and we can reflect back the divine presence of who we are in this moment. Each is a magnificent light of God. And I got to address this. I'm sorry.
You don't need to, Jack. Let the haters just expose themselves.
I am, and
let's address it.
I'm helping to illuminate the confusion. See, unslaved truth. I'm pretty sure this is the Tariq profile.
Yes,
And
it
Tarek,
is.
you are projecting, brother. You are so lost and confused. But it's not me that's the confused individual. It's your idol. It's your daddy, Paulie. Paulie is a confused individual, a great actor, and is a liar. And I know you're over here triggered, trying to defend him, trying to defend his opinion. So, Tarek, guys, actually, here.
Jack, can I
Tarek,
help you out?
would you please?
Yes. Okay. Tarek, you're fucking creepy, dude. If it's accurate, if this is an accurate statement in chat that you said that you were addicted to Jack, and you come over and you say these statements, what an honorable thing to do. What a man alpha thing to do, to come to another person's chat after you spew the things out of your mouth, your disdain, your disgust, all of those things that you were projecting on your daddy's channel today. And now it is, you are a reflection of that hatred and that disdain that we can't stand, that we don't want in our future. That behavior is what we cannot stand about your movement. It is what is actually really revolting, really, at this point, to even want to entertain anymore, to think that there would be cells of societies that had so much anger towards the common fellow man that you proclaim to say that you guys are all a part of. This is a really fascinating psychological thing to be happening amongst society. It's bizarre
and pathetic to have that much, nothing to do with your life than to come over and spew hate upon others and say you're an honorable person in any way when all it comes out of your mouth is hate. That's pretty pathetic and disgusting.
Hey, Tarek, and say truth. Are you really fooled by this WWE promo? We have two guys that agree on pretty much everything, that streamed on the same show for a couple of times, having a beef with each other over I don't know what, and you're buying into it. I don't get it. You need to explain it to me how.
So are you saying that Jack and Paul aren't really beefing?
If they are, I don't know why yet.
You think they're in cahoots? This is a publicity thing?
I can't prove it, but I don't understand the beef. That's all I can say.
I think they're twin flames personally, and they just aren't aware of it yet. But I think that once they unrepress their closeted twin flameness, then they will find peace and joy and massage. And
I've seen it too. I have, not in the sexual flame. Not in the sexual flame.
There's no way to make that not sexual.
There's a similarity to the spark of who we are. He and I are both very powerful, strong men, but he places himself way above others, and I see a lot of powerful, strong men.
Jack, if I can share something, what's come to me recently when I don't like pointing out any names to anybody, because to me, that's their own life. They can do what the fuck they want with it. But I find a lot of content, people that I've been hearing lately, they've ran out of ideals. So they spend a lot of time pointing fingers, filling gaps, but I don't hear them talking about essential oils, crystals, talking about the blood and all that. All so many different topics that these people can provide, let alone maybe put somebody on their channel like what Jesse does and get other people to talk. But what they're doing is they're just filling. They're going on pointing fucking fingers like they're still in the Garden of Eden, pointing finger. What's this person doing? What's this person opposed to? Where's the accountability? There's certain characters I don't even hear them talking about what's their views. They're so quick to tell other people what other people's views are, what they think is right or wrong, but yet never talk about what the fuck have you learned in one short lifespan. And then
try to convince everybody how honorable they are in that behavior.
And then that becomes a skip record over and over again. You know, I get if you're doing some rapping and you need to scratch a record and all that. But outside of that, they're being children still, which most of us, we still are, but they're just not developed as children. And they'll start going on, and then it becomes this constant noise. I do it myself too. I get it. But if I was going to do a channel, I surely would actually make sure it's somewhat structured and actually put some boundaries on it. But I get it. You know, a lot of these guys, 1,000 fucking people, a couple hundred views. Anyway, I went on. Fuck.
I've been trying to implement, and actually I've been learning. Some of these guys, Flo does a good job of keeping order on his HMFISC. He kind of lets things go. I don't know. Everyone's got their different ways. And Dominic, I agree. There's a lot of opportunities that we might be missing. Everyone's got these different backgrounds, these different educations. You brought up crystals and oils, and there are so many ways to connect through our senses and elevate our mind, our consciousness to our spirit. And guys, that is the game of life. Discovering the spirit of you, the essence, capturing the essence of each moment.
Hey, I got to go pick up my daughter. Sorry to interrupt yeah, I know that you were getting passionate and you were starting to do the Sig Heil thing. I got to go pick up my daughter. I am going to stream in a bit. The topic of the video is food, human right. Tarek, I'm calling your ass out. You up there in the far corner, Sig Heil, I'm calling you out. I'm pretty sure that I'll have more opposition than I have support on my opinion. But anyways,
you thrive on that. You like that. That's the whole purpose of it.
Shut up! Don't call me out.
Blessings, Flo. Thank you. And yeah, when you get it streamed, actually, I'll check before we go. Actually, I'll ask one of the mods, pay attention. When Flo's got it up, drop it in the chat, would you, please? If you
see, and that's a perfect example of when you interact with your chat with the panel. These guys are doing great in chat. It's a fun place to be. You've got some great mods down there.
There's some really cool people who have found them. Who I've found, right? We found each other. And seriously, embrace as a responsible adult, embrace that child within and start to wonder, please, with each day, why do these different personalities come into my experience? The theory I have, we're all living these different dynamic lives, right? We're experiencing different realities within us and through our minds outside of us. But somehow it all comes together perfectly because it really doesn't matter what anyone thinks. It matters how it all works out. And I'm sorry, to the point. Paying close attention to myself, what I found is when I was offering advice, most times it was a different version of what I needed for myself, right? Someone else was struggling with something completely different, but it was somehow the same thing. I can't remember any specifics, but the point is, listen to your words, see how they apply to you. Because everything we speak, every single moment of what we experience is for you. As far as I know, God created me with the life I lived so that each of you could live the life you lived. And here somewhere, we're here all together today. And I feel, besides Flo's little patterns of playing the adversary, I fucking love him. We share the same ideals. We want love. And even Flo, he doesn't know yet. He wants a world of peace.
that adversarial role is good because we're talking, it gets the juices flowing, it gets us being able to talk about these things for when we do get this type of confrontation. We've already, talked about it, we've already discussed it, we know that there is going to be opposition to this stuff. So, it's good to do this practice, and I'd love to hear what Chuck has to say.
I had a mouthful of food. Go ahead, somebody. I'll be on in a minute.
Hey, blessings.
I'll take the opportunity to go ahead and say goodnight. Thank you for letting me join the panel again tonight. I did notice twice during the stream that you activated some Kundalini energy over there, Jack.
Loosening the spine up.
Oh, there it is. So enjoy your evening, everybody. Thank you for your time, and until we all meet again, have a good one.
Blessings, sister. Sincerely, thank you for joining. Absolutely.
I don't understand a lot of people say, "Oh, I sense this energy, I sense that energy." I clearly can sense a lot of things, but I don't know what they mean. Like when Angeline told me that when I was on a panel with her, I guess I didn't. I did some research. I just didn't get it. That the energy people claim to be feeling, because the only energy I understand is really work over. That's word over time. What is energy? What's the unit for energy? Joules, pretty much. Isn't different units, but the physics definition of energy.
I think different people sense different things. Some people have some gifts that others don't have. So just because you don't sense things, then maybe others can actually sense things that you don't sense, and maybe you're not meant to sense, things that everybody else or other people are sensing.
That's what I've come to. I've heard explanations for others that, whether true or not, we're each on our own soul contract, our karmic experience, our soul development, whatever. We each have our own gifts, our own abilities, our own fears, our own limitations. We're each unique and different. And what I was talking about with the senses, Hank, I'd encourage every one of you, go within and see. That's part of the meditative practice of like the body scan. Feeling, you can actually, as you move your consciousness, your focus and your attention down through your body, you can feel where your mind is at. And then as you develop your awareness within yourself, sensing the little senses. I mean, they're real subtle signals, little tingles, but I think that's part of the meditative and the raising of the Kundalini as well, is the concept of bringing your mind within yourself. And there are different mindsets for the energy centers within us that build us, from our basic needs to our primitive desires, to the love that we hold, to our ability to speak the truth and the ability to know. All of those are forms of consciousness and perception, and those are just the ability to tune into different energetic frequencies. I hope that makes sense. It feels like it does. Guys, we are sensory beings. Our senses, the 5 senses, the 6th sense of knowing, we can actually overcome our senses.
Oh, I get it now. When people say energy, what field do they mean the energy is traversing over? Because I'm not sure it's the visual or electromagnetic field. So if they could just answer that question, then I understand. What field are you talking about specifically?
It's that video I linked earlier. She talked about it. The etheric field.
Oh, okay, that answered the question. Yeah.
The etheric field, it's like perhaps it's a field of imagination. I don't know.
Yeah, imagination field. That seems like a good answer to me.
That video, I'd heard this said before. God is kind of in our imagination. It really is. That's not limited to where God is, but our relationship with God and everything, it is in our imagination. It's in our minds. So I encourage everyone, use time each day to go within. And even if you can't pick up the subtle energy bodies of the chakra, even if you're not feeling that, or you're not feeling any, anything moving, if you can at least feel within yourself the spirit of the comforter, right? For those who follow the Christian religion, that was the Holy Spirit that was left behind as a spirit of comfort for us to know. And I tell you what, I've prayed for that often. I've heard it said, this is how it started. I've heard it said, there's a spirit of comfort that's available for me. God, I need it now.
I think, Jack, a lot of times when people want to understand energies, like we don't see, well, most of us don't see air, prana, and what we can see some of its side effects. The senses, there's many senses, and it's beyond just the 5 or the 6. But again, you said it earlier too, it depends on the person, each individual person. Like we don't really see how Wi-Fi really works. We take it for granted. We're in this game or whatever you want to call it. And then it just shows up. Most people don't know how the alchemy of language came to be. We could speculate, and maybe our forefathers, some of us could say, okay, this is how numbers came to be, how the colors come to be. But each of those are energy. We're using a word to describe it. So I'm going to use the word energy. And there is energy, but a lot of people just know how to use numbers and colors, but they don't really understand, is there an energy behind it? We're energy beings. When we go to sleep, who runs the body? Who's been running the liquids in our bodies when we've been hearing each other the whole time? Most people never expand that awareness because the brain is very limited. You got to really tap into the mind. Now, we can call it mind, man. Hence, God created something in its image. But we're in a form. The image of God has never been seen. So we don't know what man really is, but we're getting close now because there's this concept called AI. It travels everywhere. It's tapping into the ideal of what mind is. We have to learn a language, but all languages already exist. But we have to tap into it. How do you speak Greek? How do you speak Hebrew? So
they already exist, yet they develop through us as we go. Because that's one of the discussions I've seen on these panels, and there's some truth to that. Vocabularies change, and words and definitions grow, and yet the energy of language, the symbolic nature of that, is eternal in many different forms. Golly geez, man, this life we're living, it truly is magnificent. It's humbling at how much there is available to learn. It really is. Hey, I want to thank you all. I do feel like maybe shutting down now. We got flow starting up soon, I believe. And
the machine's still going.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I still have my tab open still.
Thank you. If you would, drop that link for, if you don't mind, drop the link and we'll maybe go invade Brother Machine Lies for those who feel that way.
His panel's not open yet. He's still doing his lecture.
Is he? Good.
Yes.
I enjoy his, here, let me get that in the, Oh, did you drop that, MClow? Oh no.
Yeah, it's in the private chat. It's in the StreamYard chat. Do you see it?
I got it. There we go. In the regular chat is the current stream for the Machine Lies, and then I think I just saw it. Someone just dropped the link for there he is, for Flow State as well. Flow State will be going live here very soon. And anything before we drop out of here? I'm going to do some final words without you guys. Hank? Jesse?
No, I'm good. I'll leave. See you later.
God bless. Thank you, Hank. Peace to you. Jesse, you're muted. There you go.
In the words of Snafu, the optics are high. You are, facilitating a really good show. There's a lot of jealousy out there. You're getting a lot of hate because, they're, afraid you're going to surpass them, and because you have a much better dynamic, much better people. And, so, they're going to come, but as long as you keep feeding the energy is going to keep coming. So just remember that as soon as you stop entertaining the hate, then they get bored and they're no longer, want to continue on that, right? How long? It could be weeks, could be months, but as long as you keep feeding into it, it'll keep coming.
Jesse, you're right. God, I'm trying to break this habit because I love to fight. I love to fight.
But you can go and fight in other places, facilitate a nice, safe panel here. Right. And when you hear it, go somewhere else and say, hey, you came over talking shit. Don't entertain it here and it'll fade away. The only reason why it continues happening is because you keep entertaining it. People keep talking about it. Then nothing gets them off more than you talking about them. A whole bunch of people talking about them. They do that on purpose because they have no other substance but to hate on others. So as long as you keep facilitating it, it'll keep happening.
Amen. All right, brother.
Love you, man.
Peace. Have a beautiful night. And Jesse, again, Jesse's got another big stream, 9 a.m. Pacific time, tomorrow morning on the Missing Link. And brothers and sisters, sincerely, all of you who have joined in, stuck around, or checking this out, gratitude feels good. It really, really does. And the thumbnail was a little bit cheesy. It was a little bit fun. I'm not saying cheesy because I love it. It was fun. We get to choose love. We get to choose happiness. We get to choose joy. Those things are available. Peace is available. All of those things, all of the good things of life, what do they really represent? When you step back and give things a different perspective, you can find a different meaning. But these little things that we often overlook, that we often take for granted, these little things like joy, gratitude, trust, honor, truth, those things, those are love, man. And love is what we are. Love is what feels good. We all know love feels good. So I used to be of the belief that love was dependent upon the world. Love was something that was absent from me. I didn't understand where it was. Oh, I'm laughing at my humility, my past confusion, and at my praise in our loving God. Praise God. In all of its perfection and all of its glory, somehow everything from the past brought us forth into today. And today, holy shit, man. All the things we learned today, all of the things we experience today, those are going to create new ideas for tomorrow. So tomorrow, holy cows, I can't wait to see what might happen then. Brothers and sisters, thank you again for all of you who have joined in. I did want to double check. I started some comments. Here, yes. In my bliss today. I don't know. Some of these. Hey, if I am lost and confused, if I am a confused individual, a great actor, and I am a liar, which parts should you reject? Should you reject everything? Even the stuff about love? Come on, dude, you're not making sense. Here I go, doing exactly what Jesse just offered me. The suggestion just offered to me, and I just completely ignore it. Let me stop rambling on. Brothers and sisters, thank you again for everyone, sincerely. Reward yourself. Reward yourself. Accept your worthiness for a little bit of peace. Even in the chaos, even though the kids are crying, the neighbors are yelling, and blah, 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 blah. Even though the world is what it is, you are worthy of a moment of peace. And in that moment of peace, remind yourself of the good that gratitude feels. And so feel that gratitude. Take some of my faith again today, and I'll recharge myself tomorrow. Till next time, God bless. Thank you again. Peace for everyone. Choose love and live without fear.